Divine greetings and gratitude. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Of course, I'm excited to be here with you right now. I wanted to go ahead and get into a few messages. The reason why is because I'm going to be staying behind the scenes so that I can structure some things. And as I say that, of course, the Hierophant is here already in this deck here at the bottom of the deck. We already have some things getting started for us right now. So definitely, we have the Hierophant. So the reason why I wanted to come and do this reading is because I am going to be getting some things done behind the scenes for the next couple of weeks or so. So I want to make sure that I have some kind of videos coming for you, so that in the meantime, I can go ahead and handle my business behind the scenes. I'm going to be structuring some things and whatnot. For those of you that are confused as to what I'm talking about, welcome. I noticed that we do have some new members here. Welcome to the Saiyonan Collective. My name is Nuna. I am the seer, the poet, the writer, the witch, and the keeper of the Saiyonan archives. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. And if you are returning, hey tribe, welcome back to our sacred space. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. I wanted to go ahead and come on here to, again, as stated, go ahead and give you some messages that we have coming through. I don't know what they're going to be about. A quick update. Again, I am going to be working behind the scenes to get some things structured for the upcoming months and years and whatnot, for not only myself in the background, but also for our Saiyonan collective. I also have some things that I'm going to be structuring and getting ready for as it pertains to our private members over behind the scenes. Of course, that will be the Saiyonan circle. So there's three things that I'm structuring for. Actually four, because I'm also going to be doing things regarding the poetry, the writing, Substack, and things of that nature. So I'm getting all of that stuff prepared. I'm getting all of that stuff taken care of. And it's going to take me a while because I have to make some bylaws and I have to make sure that everything is seamlessly done. And as I say that, look at that. We have the Sun card as well as the Hierophant coming out again, even after shuffling. So we're going to go ahead and allow these two to be one of the main messages that we have going on. Actually, it's beautiful because we are in Capricorn season. And so it does make sense that it would be regarding structure and things like that. So anyway, I'm going to make sure that I link anything that you may need down in the description box as well as in the comment section. This card does not want to show itself right now, so we're just going to leave that card there. And we're just going to go ahead and get started with the reading. Are there any other updates that I have to give to you? Yes. If you are new here, I have several links down in the description box as well as in the comment section that I like to leave. And the reason is because I know that sometimes people kind of look at the comment section to see if anyone commented and things like that. And for a strategic reason, I left links down there at the bottom. So yes, even if you don't comment, there is still something there that you can use. All right. Thank you so much, Divine, for creating this space for us right now. Thank you so much for helping us to come together. Thank you so much for allowing us to just come together as a collective. That way we can receive the messages that we need. Thank you so much, Divine, for helping me have the discernment to know what is for me and what is for the collective. Thank you so much for giving me the gift of clairvoyancy, the gift of clairaudiency, and all other gifts that I may or may not tap into during this reading. Thank you so much for protecting this space. Thank you so much for protecting the people listening to these messages. Thank you so much for giving me the messages that my soul tribe needs to hear. Protect this space. Protect me as the interpreter. Protect me as the priestess, the witch, the writer, the seer. Thank you so much for protecting me as I do my work. And may we all have a wonderful time. May we all receive what we need. I trust in your wisdom. I trust in your guidance. I trust in all things that you have, that you are getting ready for me and also for the collective. I invite in our spiritual team. I invite in our guides. I invite in our ancestors. That is non-negotiable. And benevolent beings who want the best for our highest and our greatest good. It is so. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So we're already 4 minutes and 56 seconds into the video. Let's go ahead and move it along. Of course, I'm not rushing, but I noticed that people just kind of click out at a certain time. And I never want to rush spirit at all. And I never want to rush these messages. I do know that I am in the planning phases of this YouTube channel. So, which reminds me, I feel like that in itself is, there's a message in that all by itself about planning. And I feel like there's this idea of getting things planned that you can get planned without succumbing to a demand that pulls you away from spirit, in a way that pulls you away from your calling, in a way that pulls you away from your spiritual practice. And it's one of those things where what's being highlighted for people, and what's being highlighted for you right now, is that there's this idea that, or someone may have an idea that they have to force, that they have to rush, that they have to keep up with a certain demand. And there's a need for you to kind of pull back and say, you know what, I'm going to allow myself to follow my intuition on this one. And I'm going to plan according to what my intuition picks up on. So no longer is it we're allowing our divine masculine to overpower or override what we're feeling intuitively. Instead, what I'm hearing is that your intuition needs to come first, and whatever you feel intuitively is what you structure around. It's interesting because with the Hierophant here does come up the idea of the patriarch. What comes up is this patriarchal system, and I'm hearing the word misogyny. I feel like some people's belief systems may be rooted in misogyny, and I'm also hearing that for some people, they don't, or maybe you were a victim of this, right? And this is not to tear down men. This does not have anything to do with men, although men may very well be a part of this conversation. What this is about is the fact that you don't want to allow yourself to be subject to the ideologies or the perspectives of just this one fixed energy, right? If anything, this fixed energy is meant to serve you as a divine feminine being. And if you're just now coming here to this space, I'm known for providing divine insight. I'm known for prophetic visions. I'm known for being a seer. I'm known for being a witch, of course. Yes, I'm known for being a writer, poet, all those things. But what I'm saying is that if you've been following this, not following, but if you've been along this journey with me, you know that part of our predictions that we've predicted, right, that there will be the rise of the divine feminine, that we would need community, that we would want to start returning to the old ways in a way that helps us out in this time, because these systems are going to start crashing in on itself. And if you've been here, you know that we were saying that, you know that we've been saying that for years. And if you need to clock receipts, you can always go over to at Magic of Eden on Instagram. You'll see several things in the highlights. I still have that page up because I'm in the process of transferring those things over to at Nuna sees, where you can keep up to date with prophecies and visions and things like that I've had over the years. So again, as I stated, we've been knowing these things, that we've been knowing that these things are coming for years. And I'm saying that because now we're in a space where spirit is wanting you, if you're listening to this, spirit is wanting you to start putting what you love first and start structuring things around what you love and what you pick up on intuitively. Because what's going to happen is that there's going to be a point in time where if you are not governing yourself, it's going to be harder for you to remain sovereign if you're not governing yourself. Because this is one of those things where you want to make sure that you have things in order and ready for what you feel is right for you, yourself, your family, and whatever else. I just heard the word empire. So someone could be in the process of building something. I just heard the words protection, like asset protection. You're wanting to make sure that you're doing these things, but you're doing it for the sake of, okay, I'm getting another intermission. 1 second. You're wanting to do these things for the sake of yourself, yes, but also for the benefit of yourself, your family, the collective. The intermission that I was getting, and this is so interesting because spirit is telling me to use myself as an example. This reading is not about me. This reading is about you, but I'm being called to use my experience to explain to you what I mean. So what I'm saying is, for myself, right, I'm separating commerce from my spiritual beliefs, because the things that you believe in, your spiritual endeavors, what they're saying is that although it may be a smart move to commercialize that, they're wanting you to keep your spiritual practice without the need to monetize off of that. If anything, what they're saying is that you can do what you can do for, okay, so hang on, let me take a step back real quick. Okay. So what they're saying is that some of these things may not apply to everybody, which is fine. Like this is a broad space. This is YouTube. So what they're saying is that for you specifically, because you may not resonate with everything that I was going to say, they're telling me to keep that part to myself. What they are saying, however, is that you want to make sure that you are keeping your spiritual life, your spiritual life. And what they're saying is that to be careful when it comes to branding, because it's one thing to brand, but then it's another thing for you to keep your sacred life sacred. Okay. They're wanting you to keep your sacred life sacred. What the highlight is for you is how you structure yourself, how you govern yourself, and making your spiritual practice a priority, because for so long it was suppressed and they no longer want that to be your reality. Speaking of planning, we have the page of Pentacles here in reverse. We also have the King of Swords here, which is interesting. We have the King of Swords here. And we were just talking about the patriarchy. We were just talking about that. And here we have this King of Swords here. All right. What else do we have here? We have the High Priestess. Look, you cannot make this up if you try. We have the High Priestess here. And then what else do we have? We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Eight of Swords, and we also have the Fool card. It's essentially everything that I said earlier is exactly what is here in the cards. Like you can't. Let me see if I can turn this around real quick. Give me 1 second. See if I can fix this camera. There we go. Precisely. It's one of those things where, again, what you want to do, instead of going based upon this rigor and this logic and constant logic and reason without any intuition or not, that's exactly what is going to prohibit you from growing. Now here's where it's going to get a lot more personal. Okay, I feel like someone here is, there's this fear. I just heard that there's a fear of starting over. Someone is afraid of starting over, and someone is afraid that if they were to start over, that it will take them longer to get where they need to be. And I feel like there's like this rush of anxiety, especially with the Eight of Swords here. It's almost kind of like this rush to do things in a way that makes sense. And what Spirit is saying is that you're entering into a space in your life where things are not going to fully make sense. But what does make sense is you prioritizing your spiritual care and your spiritual hygiene. That's what's important right now. And to be honest with you, I see that someone here may be starting over. And even though they don't have a plan, what's going to help them sustain and be structured is their spiritual routine. So what they're saying is that I want you, your guides are saying, I need you, I want you, right? I need you to start to structure your spiritual practice. That is what needs structuring. That is what needs your attention. That is what needs your focus. Because the truth is that, especially with the Sun card here and with the King of Swords here, this energy is telling you that what is being shown to you right now is mindset. What's being shown to you right now is how the systems work. What's being shown to you is this ideology or these mindsets that were fixed. And what they're saying is that even though the King of Swords is here, don't let this King of Swords dictate what you do when it comes to your spiritual practice. If anything, this logic and this reason and this rationality is meant to serve you, your intuition. That's the way that they're wanting you to do it. Someone here may be a very strong intellectual. I'm picking up on someone who questions. And of course, you're meant to question things. Absolutely. But also what I'm hearing is that with the High Priestess here, Spirit is saying to you now that there are some things that you're not going to understand. There are some things that you may not know, but they're wanting you to move with that energy regardless. And it may be scary and you may not know what to do, but you'll know what to do if you follow your intuition. There's really this strong idea of you following your intuition, but also you honoring what you feel without the need of you questioning it and suppressing it. The King of Swords is coming up right now to me as someone that is so used to things being a certain way, but they're asking for you to open this energy up, and they're asking for you to change your perspective on something. There's something that you may think that may be set in stone, or you believe will be set in stone. What they're saying is that what is set in stone, or what they want you to get set in stone again, is your spiritual routine. I can't help but feel that they are wanting you to really hone in on that. Interesting that you have the Ace of Wands here and then the Five of Pentacles. I feel like if you're in a space right now where you're not knowing where to go, I feel like I'm hearing it's your faith, it's your spirituality, your faith, or it's your, again, this routine, or this, I don't know why I'm hearing like the word submission and like subservience. I don't know why I'm hearing the word subservience. They are no longer wanting you to be subservient to any other master. They're not wanting you to serve masters. Like, they're saying you are not meant to serve masters. So whatever this master would be, this master could be a personification or the embodiment of, or take the form of a preacher, a pastor, a mother, the world, success, whatever it is. They're asking for you not to honor these things as masters, but if anything, what they're asking you to do is lean into your own sovereignty, lean into your own spiritual sovereignty, because that's where your purpose becomes ignited. This Ace of Wands here is coming up as some form of illumination, and it's also coming up as some type of, I just heard the word spiritual leadership. Someone or something is handing you something, like a torch. It's like they're handing you a torch. They're saying, here, use this. Someone is being given a tool. This could be something that you could use to help to enhance your spiritual life. It's almost kind of like when someone gives you a candle, or they give you like a box of candles. I'm seeing someone receive a box of candles, like a box of white and like a box of green. I'm seeing white and green candles specifically, separate, like not a double action candle. But what I am seeing is a box of white candles, and I'm seeing a box of green candles. I don't know what kind of workings you got going on. You may be setting your intention for the new year, for the Gregorian calendar. You may be setting your intention for resources, for money, and things of that nature. But what I am seeing, especially here with this Ace of Cups and with this Knight of Wands, it's one of those things where you're like, I am going to fight for what I believe in. I am not taking no for an answer, and I'm going to move with what brings me joy. So they're wanting you to focus also on what brings you joy. And that's why they're saying that they want you to focus deeply on your spiritual routine, your habits, and things like that, because that's what's going to help keep your intentions pure. But that's also what's going to help keep the things that you love pure. And they're always going to lead you to the things that you love to do anyway. So that's why they're saying that. Is there anything else, Spirit? I feel like that's really just a message, really. I do see newness, but this time what they're saying is that I just heard put God first. Whatever you believe in, you have the right to worship and believe in whatever you want to believe in, but they're asking you, they're telling you the truth is that they're wanting you to put this spiritual practice first. They're also letting me know right now that you are holding on to a lot at the moment, and there's so many things that you may be burdened with, and they're asking for you to bring that to the altar. Whatever you may be afraid of, they're asking for you to give that to the altar, to write it down, to write a petition, to light a candle at your altar. These things matter, no matter how small it seems. And if you feel that you don't have enough time, they're letting you know now, and they're giving me permission to be this voice that lets you know that is BS. If you have 2 minutes to stop and drink a cup of water, if you have a minute to go to the bathroom, if you have a minute to breathe, that is all that you need. It doesn't even take 30 seconds sometimes. Sometimes all it takes is a divine, I love you. That's it. That there is the ritual. Why? Because you breathed, because you made time, because you acknowledged the divine. The simple fact that you think about the divine is enough, because you are the divine embodied in flesh. Okay. So truly, there really is no escaping it. There really is no such thing as I don't have enough time. If you have time to breathe, and if you breathe automatically, you set your intention for every breath that you take be in reverence of the divine. In reverence to the divine. With every breath I take, I exhale love. I breathe in love, and I give love freely. Right? And I feel like every time you breathe in divine love, you exhale the stress. You breathe in divine love, you exhale the stress, you exhale the burden. And that becomes an act of devotion. And that is ritual. I got chills. That is ritual. The Two of Cups here. The Two of Cups to me is coming up as someone deciding that they are wanting to align more with not even just other people, but with things that bring them joy, the things that bring them happiness, and really focusing on that and you structuring yourself around that. But remember, when you structure, the reason why you're structuring here is because you are wanting to make sure that the things that you align with, that you truly do vibe with, the things that you truly do align with, have a foundation and structure that can help it sustain itself and over time and outlast you, outlive your physical body. Okay. I want you to know also the last message. What is the last message? Exactly. It's going to take work. Even when you don't see it, even when you feel like things are just not as what they seem, even when you feel like you can't tell whether you're doing a good job or not, or whether you're doing enough or not, you always are doing enough. This is a season for you to start perfecting your craft. It makes sense that we're in Capricorn season. And as someone who was heavily dense with Capricorn energy in their tropical chart, I can tell you a thing or two about making sure that you perfect your craft and making sure that you're structured and making sure that you're doing things the right way to remain sovereign. Okay, this is not you doing this for the sake of somebody else's dream. You're doing this for your own. And with the Knight of Wands coming up here, it's like I'm choosing to move forward and lead with love. I'm leading with love. And even though I may not be fully there yet, I'm on my way. Because after this night, then comes the king, the queen, and the king, whichever one you decide that you are more in tune with. And with the moon card here, this is prophetic energy. This is you again with the moon card here and with the high priestess. This is lunar energy for sure. So you could be a child of the moon. You could be someone who has a really strong moon placement. You could be, whatever you connect to. You connect to the moon. You connect to the mysteries. Okay, you connect with your intuition. They're asking for you to put your intuition first because your intuition will bypass all things that quote unquote make sense. See, the thing about this King of Swords here, this is coming up for somebody. This is coming up as gaslighting, right? So this is bringing me to another current of this reading. This is coming up as gaslighting. Just because this King of Swords said it doesn't make it true. And this is where you have to be willing to sit in the night, sit with everything that's not being said. That's another reason why they want you to be so in tune with or to get your spiritual routine over at the SaiyonanPath.org. If you enjoyed this reading and whatnot, you can also take a moment to consider becoming a private member and a part of the Saiyonan Circle, where you can receive readings like this and even more that are exclusive to our own Saiyonan Circle. You have chances to ask me a question, and if it could be answered via a reading for everyone, I will definitely do that. And that's also a space where I create for us to have our community behind the scenes that is untainted by the world. Okay. And yes, you can also follow along with me on Substack, and you can visit any link that I have available to you. The Etherium is open, although I am getting that restructured. The Etherium is an apothecary essentially, but I don't call it that. I like to call it an Etherium because I'm different and I'm a little bit of a rule breaker. And yes, anyways, I love you. Take care, and I will catch you in my next video.